guys how this will go. Hey monkeys, how you doing? Damian Keys here. Welcome to another edition of the hashtag Ask Damo show. We're on number 20. With me as always is Melissa.
Hello.
We have parcels, we have prizes, we've got questions. This is the show where you can ask questions about your band, about your social media, just stuff I can help with, and I'll do my best to give you an answer. This is from, We Are Giants. Alternative rock band from Northampton. You do that bit, I'll do this bit. Oh, that's a great cover. Check that out. Is that in focus? We Are Giants. It's Lee on bass, Griff on guitar and vocals, and Rob on drums. It's 4-track, mixed and mastered by Jake Barnes. Love this. That is an absolutely amazing shot.
They're on everything.
On everything.
Yeah, this is nice.
So they're on everything. YouTube, Facebook, email, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Music Glue. They're on that as well.
Yeah.
So good. Guys, I will be listening to this. That's going to be going on our wall, probably somewhere behind me. We are out of space, so we are starting to move across now. So we should start. We should start making it a bit more messy, so we can just start just piling stuff up. So thank you very much for that. We will have that. Ooh, wow, this feels nice. This feels good. I haven't opened it again, so let's Oh look, it's got you and me on it.
Aww.
You read, I'll look. You do that. I'll figure this shit out.
Hey you guys, Melissa. We've been following you guys for a while now, and I found your advice really useful for social media. Aww. Hope you enjoy the t-shirt and vinyl.
Oh, vinyl!
Oh, you haven't.
Love vinyl.
Love Tokyo Tea Room. What a great name.
That is
I love
a brilliant
that.
name, yeah.
It's really cool.
Oh, you do t-shirt, I'll do vinyl.
I will do t-shirt.
Oh, look at this artwork. I love artwork. I love it when bands get their artwork right. And when I did the radio show, this is the type of thing, we couldn't play vinyl, but when we did the radio show, this is the type of thing that when this would come through in CD form, we would see that the band had done a great job. This 100% would have got played. So
this is really cool. Oh, look at this.
I will definitely be wearing that. Another place, another time. I'm going to get a picture of this, stick it on the Instagram. I'll send it to you guys. Thank you guys so much. That's going to go on our wall. And then we've got a big shoe box. I hope it's shoes. Not shoes. Not shoes.
Merchandise shoes.
Right. Ooh. You got that one.
All right.
Oh, look.
Damian and Melissa and DK Management. Aww.
Lots of t-shirts.
Just everyone.
Ah, the guys in the other room will be very happy with this.
My name is Alexis, and me and my band's Atronak. Am I reading that right?
Atronak.
Atronak, there we go.
I think it is.
I am bad at reading. Atronak are big fans of the show, and what you do as it's a massive help, so that's really nice. Sent you some t-shirts, limited edition, as we have some new designs coming soon.
Ooh.
That's really cool.
Brilliant. Atronak. Is it Atronak? Atronak.
Oh, cool.
Atronak. That's cool. I like that. Guys, thank you so much.
That's really cool.
I will absolutely be wearing this, sending you a picture on the old gram coming up. Oh, do you know what? And there's more t-shirts, so that means everyone gets t-shirts.
Yeah, they said they've adjusted to the whole office.
Do you know what?
Really
everyone
cool.
gets a
really
t-shirt.
nice.
The guys in the other room will be very happy.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Right.
Really cool.
Is that out of shot? Who knows? But let's go for it. Have we got some questions?
We have got some questions.
Kapow!
Right.
So before we have the questions, don't forget, if you've got a couple of things, if you've got, this is any other business, if you've got merch that you want to send us, then the address is below. If you've got songs that you want featured on the daily vlog, so the daily vlog is purely a YouTube thing only, but I don't want to just keep doing stand against the wall videos. So from here on in, we're videoing everything. This is being videoed. I'm going to video my day. And one thing is, with that story idea, is I need music and I want to promote unsigned bands. I'm not interested in going and finding music on some free website. I want to promote you guys. So if you want your music featured on this day-to-day vlog, then what you've got to do is you've got to email sara@damiankeys.com. Now that's got to be in the link. And she will get it and she will edit it and she will put your music in it and she will put full credits to your band and links to your band when it's featured. Brilliant.
All right, let's kick it off. Okay, so this is from Sapphire via Facebook. If you have music on Spotify and iTunes, if I have music on Spotify and iTunes, do I also need to release it on SoundCloud and YouTube? I worry about spreading my fan base across too many different platforms as it might keep the individual view count low.
Okay, and I love this question, and it's a brilliant question to start the show. And the reason for that is because what we're talking about now, firstly, is the 3 words at the end: view count low. I'm worried about keeping my view count low. Now, it is, and there's nothing wrong with that, but everyone has this worry about view count and about numbers and about subscribers. So here you go. If you're worried, this is for everybody. If you are worried about your numbers on Facebook, your numbers on Twitter, your numbers on whatever, you can just go and buy them. It's pointless, but you can just go and buy them. If you just want, if this is just purely an egotistical exercise that you just want someone to look at your numbers and go, wow, you're really, really impressive. Now, numbers do matter, but people will take into consideration everything from the engagement, and after a while, when you're putting stuff out there, it actually becomes detrimental when someone says, wow, you've got 40,000 Facebook friends or likes, and you're getting 3 people that actually like your post. Because the people who've liked your page, it doesn't add up, and people don't give a shit. So firstly, that phrase, keeping the view count low, what are we trying to do here? What we're trying to do in marketing our band is we are trying to get in front of as many people as possible to trigger some kind of inquisitive nature to go, oh, that sounds quite interesting, I might check them out, which is what these guys have done. They've sent some stuff through and we've gone, great, so I'm going to play this. All of a sudden, I'm in a place where I'm listening to a band. I'll probably tell some guys when they go, what's this? And I'll go, oh, this is We Are Giants. And you're just trying to get in front of as many people as possible, but with the right message. So when it comes to should you be on Spotify, iTunes, for a start, those two are a little bit, in my opinion, conflicting, because one of them's free and one of them's paid. So as soon as you say our music's on iTunes and Spotify, the first place I'm going to go is Spotify, because I pay for Spotify. I'm on Spotify every single day, and so therefore if I can hear you on Spotify, that's the easiest place. So that's good, that's a good thing. But what we're doing there is we're giving music away. Now if you want to buy our music on iTunes, if you want to buy our music is to be paid for is on iTunes. Now I'm not saying don't do both, but it is a bit of, if you think about it, it is a conflicting thing. One of them's free, one of them's paid for. Which one are you going to go for? So we're not giving people a reason to buy it should you want to buy it, because music's not attached to anything. It's just attached to iTunes. So it's the same on your phone on Spotify as on iTunes. If it was better quality, if you were listening to it on Spotify and just thinking, oh my God, I wish I could hear the bass, or I wish it wasn't so top endy, then you have to go onto iTunes and buy it, I would understand. But if not, it's exactly the same product on your phone through iTunes and Spotify. But taking that aside, then to go onto SoundCloud and then to go onto YouTube. They are different audiences, but for me, it's how you're promoting them. If you have time to promote them, yeah, you should be on all of them. You know, all of the, YouTube is free, SoundCloud is free, Spotify is free. It's ways of promoting them, but they're very, very different. If you're going to put your music on YouTube, then I don't really see the point in that. I don't see the point when people just put music on YouTube, because SoundCloud is for music, YouTube is for video. So for me, if you're going to attach the music, and this is the key phrase that I talk about all of the time, if you are going to attach your music to something, what are you attaching it to? This is music which is attached to a CD, and the other one we had earlier on, this is music which is attached to vinyl. So it feels like we've got something. And when it's on a phone, whether it's 79p or whether it's free, it's just attached to the phone. It's not attached to anything at all. So when you're going to attach it to something, if you're going to put it on YouTube, you have to kind of attach it to something that people want to visually watch, because people don't go onto YouTube to listen. It's not the right platform for an audio consuming of content. So if you're going to go onto YouTube, make it worthwhile. Make it so that the people who go onto YouTube to get things from YouTube are getting what they want as well as your music, because your music is attached to an awesome video or to a live gig or to an interview or something that you just go, I'm getting what I want when I go to that platform to consume things, but I'm also getting your music attached to it. Now SoundCloud, if you're on Spotify and iTunes, SoundCloud, there are lots of artists who have broken through SoundCloud. SoundCloud's had a bit of a bad rap over the last couple of months. So should you release it on SoundCloud? It's up to you, but I wouldn't release anything that you haven't got time to promote. So if you're just putting it on SoundCloud for the sake of putting it on SoundCloud, no, I wouldn't do that. I would say I'm going to put it on SoundCloud, which means I have to allocate it. And so here's the thing. I know this is dragging this answer on a little bit, but I get a lot of companies now asking me about social media. So I say, well, let me go and have a look at your social media and see what I think. The first thing I notice is they're on too many platforms. So they've chosen to be on these platforms. And every time you say, right, I'm going to be on Twitter, I'm going to be on Instagram, I'm going to be on Snapchat, I'm going to be on LinkedIn. And then you say, how much time are you going to allocate to each one of these platforms? And they go, no, we're just going to put the same thing out on everything and hope that other people will see it. That's not the right thing to do, because every single platform is different. So you need to say, if I'm going to start a Twitter, I have to commit a couple of hours a day. If I'm going to start a YouTube, I'm going to have to commit a couple of hours a day. Well, then you've got 4 hours a day. If you take that advice, then you go, well, I should probably do something on Instagram, and to actually properly build an Instagram and build an audience, it's going to take an hour or so a day, because people want to ask questions and they want to engage with you and they want to see your stories. And so it's energy. All of a sudden, how are you going to fit all this shit in? It's better then to say, well, I tell you what, let's just go for it on Facebook and YouTube, or Facebook and Instagram, or SoundCloud. And if we're going to go on SoundCloud, we need to plug the shit out of it every single day. And every time I meet someone, you go, our music's on SoundCloud. Otherwise, you are spreading it thin for no reason.
Does that then conflict though if you have your music up on SoundCloud and Spotify and iTunes, and you're going by that theory of you need to promote all of them? Is there then the danger that you might over promote by constantly saying, check this out on this platform and then check this out on this platform? Do you think your audience could get tired?
I don't know. I mean, I think, I've got a big thing where there's no such thing as too much content. There's only shit content. Yeah. Because people will consume the bits that they want. And after a while, they'll go, oh, I've seen that. I don't want to watch it again. If they see the same message, then that's just shit content. Yeah. If you just say, buy my album, 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 after a while, you're like, fucking change the record. Yeah. Whereas if you said exactly the same thing every single day, buy my album, but that buy my album message was attached to something different, which is, here's me playing live one of the tracks, buy my album. The next day it's like a vlog, buy my album. The next day it's us having a Q&A sessions with someone they've brought in to actually ask really good questions, buy my album. The next thing is, we're at the radio station and we're going to perform our track live, buy my album. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, do people get bored? No, they don't get bored at all. It's just because you say the same thing and you're not providing value. So I think you can say something 10 times a day. If it's attached in the right way, then it absolutely won't. Okay. It won't piss people off.
It just comes back to making interesting content.
Yeah, which people don't want to do. People want to be lazy, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I've got to make a bit of content for today. I'll grab my phone and I'll just hold it up and I'll talk. That works for a bit, but I can't do that for the rest of my life, because I won't get that much engagement from it. Whereas if I take it seriously, I'm a big fan of watching Facebook Live, and I want to do more Facebook Live. You can really interact with that. You could do that 4 times a day. I think people get bored, they just wouldn't watch some of it.
Okay, cool. So question 2 is from Kenny via Instagram, and he says, how many fans might you need before you can start influencing with sponsors?
Lower than you'd think is the answer to that. So I know this because I've done quite a lot of research with influencers, social media companies, and stuff that I'm doing myself. You'd think that you'd need to have millions, and you hear these stories. I heard a story the other day about this YouTube, yesterday in fact, this YouTuber's got 3 million subscribers and he got paid 16 grand for just turning up to an event. It was a mate of a mate, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. But at the same point, you just go, yeah, but one thing I've learned from this daily vlogging is really hard. 3 million subscribers is a lot. That's a lot of subscribers. So, and there needs to be the engagement and the proof, and the reach is the big thing. How much are you going to get the reach of? But you'd be surprised, because 16 grand's a lot of money, but there are companies, smaller companies, that are looking out for audiences of 20,000, 15 to 20,000, and you'll get a lot of money, but you'll get 100 quid. Yeah. So they'll say, I'll give you 100 quid if you put a post out or a story or a couple of stories on your Instagram, and you get 100 quid for it. The one thing is, though, is what is that audience? Because if your audience and what is your brand, if that audience is, 15 to 65 year olds, then you're probably not gonna get the demographic. If you just paid for an audience and they can see your audiences from everywhere in the entire world, and it's not specific, you're not gonna get it. But you know, with my audience on Facebook, I haven't yet, but if you think about it, I've got 15,000 people on Facebook. Overall, I've got about 20,000 people-ish, and I get a lot of engagement for the amount of people who sort of are part of my channel. So I feel good. The engagement is very, very high. Now, if you were a music company, why would you not want to jump on the bandwagon? Why wouldn't you want to say, well, I'll send you some stuff for free, or I will pay you to review or advertise a thing? Because my audience is very, very specific. My audience on the whole, I know some of you watching this will say that you're not this, but on the whole, my audience is male, between 19 and 30 years old, and in either UK or America. Those are the two audiences, and there's a lot in the UK. Yeah. So, you know, if you are a company, if you're a British company looking to advertise something musical to musicians, specifically guitarists, bass players, drummers and singers, male singers, between 19 and 30, I'm your man. Yeah. So, you know, if you were a music college, you know, if you were an ACM or a BIM, why would you not want me shouting about it to 20,000 musicians? You know, obviously I'm not going to do that because I don't, you know, I want to be careful with who I'm linked to, but there's no reason why someone shouldn't ask the question, because that is a very, very specific demographic, and a lot of you guys trust what I have to say. So therefore, if I wanted to, I could monetize it quite easily. And I don't have a lot, you know, I don't have millions, but I do have a very hardcore, small, not fan base, that's the wrong, community. I have a very small, hardcore community. And that's what I talk about with bands when they want to put their own records out. It's not about having millions of numbers. It's having small numbers, but those numbers really, really believe in you because you looked after them. Yeah. But yeah, you can make it, you know, you could get to 20,000 on one thing, on Instagram or YouTube, and then if it's a real targeted audience, you could easily be charging between 100 and 400 quid, depending on how much of an influencer you are, for one thing that you do.
So it's almost more about the kind of quality of the niche audience.
Absolutely.
And your relationship with them than the quantity.
And then what you do is, if you've got that demographic, is then you go to a bunch of social media agencies and just say, just to let you know, this is my audience, this is the demographic, I can break it down for you. If you are looking for someone that fits in this demographic, I'm available. And I'll just keep it on file.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good shout. Okay, so question 3 is from Jen via Twitter. She says, I'm a solo artist and I've been quite happy playing solo, but would having a band boost my chances of success at live gigs? Something that crops up quite a lot at music uni, actually.
It is, yeah.
Have a band question.
And what I would say to that is, I think this is about being an artist. I think it's about being an artist, and there's a difference between being a singer, being a songwriter, and being an artist. Those are 3 different things. So I deal with many singers who are just fantastic singers, and if you want them to turn up and sing on a song that you've written, or do a covers gig, or teach, or any of those things, they're amazing. But that is not an artist. Yeah. Because an artist can be someone like, I don't know, the guy from the Pogues, Shane MacGowan. I mean, he's an artist, even though he's not Mariah Carey with his vocals, with his technique, but he's an artist. He knows what he stands for. He's got the audience. He's a singer, songwriter, and artist. So I think if you're not sure, I would experiment, but for me, you need to know. It needs to be right, because if it's the same in business, like, am I going to start a business with 1 or 2 other people? Very doubtful, because I'm a lone ranger. Because I know my strength. I know how to build businesses on my own. And unless someone's going to come in that I'm going to think to myself, I can't say no to that opportunity, that's fair enough, then I would do that, because that would be like, you know, I'm not sounding egotistical, but if someone came in who'd really built businesses before, and I was thinking, wow, imagine teaming up with that person, that would be more like you know, like a band that gets together with another band, you know, like when Audio Slave got together with, when Rage Against the Machine got together with Chris Cornell, and they formed something where you're like, that's a silly thing not to do that. But on the whole, am I going to do that? No. Why would I do that? Because I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know my path, I know my targets, I know what I'm trying to achieve, and I don't know, it doesn't feel right. So I think if I was an artist, and then it's, am I an artist, do I want a band behind me just playing? Then that depends on your project management, because dealing with musicians, I can vouch for this, is hard. Because all of us who are all musicians, and you watching, we're fucking hard work. We're really hard to manage. For lots of reasons. We've grown up rebelling against the system. We go, I don't want to fucking work. I want to be a musician. I want to create. I want to be an artist. I want to be free. That's brilliant until someone tries to manage you. Really, really hard.
Getting you to a rehearsal.
Yeah. So getting musicians to the right place at the right time, having learnt their stuff, and you know, and all the other reliable and dependable, in other words that end in "ible," all of that becomes very, very difficult. If you are very good at managing people and getting what you want out of them, yes. But if you're gonna have to pay them to rehearse and pay them to gig, no way. So, you know, I think it does depend on your skill set for this, and for me, it also depends on what's in your heart, because, you know, does Lady Gaga have a band? Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. If she wants to have a band, brilliant. If she doesn't want to have a band, fine. It doesn't make any difference, because all we care about is her. We don't care who, you know, the drummer's phenomenal, but I don't know what he looks like. And if we wanted to, I could record him on track and then have that immortalized forever. So, you know, so it's just about her. So are you an artist and really know your true root? And if you are, then if you want a band, stick a band behind you. But I wouldn't join a band if you're an artist, because it just doesn't feel right for me.
Yeah, and there's so many people out there making it on their own, so it's not like it's a need.
Oh, I mean, one thing you've got same thing from a business point of view, but one thing when you're on your own, it's speed. That's the big thing for me, is when I build a business and I'm reliant on nobody, and I'm also beholden to nobody, I can move very fast indeed. As soon as I bring other people in and I've got to work on their skills, their time frame, yes, we can get more stuff done, but it can be a lot more lethargic. Whereas if I'm on my own, then, you know, I'm a fucking ninja. So, you know, and speed is so important. How fast you can progress things to get momentum is the winner. That's what it is. You know, you get momentum, it starts to go round and round and round on socials, in a band, you know, with music. It builds the momentum, and all of a sudden then the momentum takes over and you're like, oh, I'm chasing it as opposed to it's chasing me. So in which case, sometimes you can work a lot faster. However, sometimes your skill set just goes, I need someone else. You know, if you're a singer that loves writing songs but can't play another instrument, you might need a band, you know, so it does depend on skill set.
Yeah, what's in your heart? Okay, so last one is from Tom from Twitter, and he said, is it okay to repost pieces of old content, and if so, how often can they be reposted without boring the fans?
And that's a really good question. I think you should. I don't. This is something I'm guilty of. I don't repost stuff because I'm constantly wanting to make more daily content, but I think reposting old content is great, because it's depending on which platform as well. Maybe not so much on YouTube unless it's rehashed, but if you're looking at Facebook, Twitter is certain. I mean, why would you not repost on Twitter? Because a tiny fraction of your audience see it on Twitter. If you look at Facebook, for example, now that we've got the pay to play thing, where everybody knows that if they want their audience to actually see everything that they do, you're gonna have to pay for it, or make some content which is groundbreaking that gets shared, or remarkable, as Seth Godin puts it. So therefore, why not? Why not every so often just say, throwback to when we did this live gig? Because I love it when that happens. You know, and nostalgia is a massive thing. Like, people love it. So if it is a year later and goes, who was at this gig? And then you repost it like that, people will be like, I missed that gig, or I was at that gig, or I remember when this happened. You might get twice as much engagement the second time as the first time, because people are just fresh out of the gig and they would just like it and go, yeah, it was a really good gig. And all of a sudden, a year later, they're remembering because they're not in the same city, because they've left university, because something's happened, because they were there with their girlfriend and they broke up, or whatever it is. that they just go, oh my God, I remember that. That was a time I remembered. It becomes more valuable than when it was 3 days ago. So, you know, I'd be careful with it. I wouldn't just repost willy-nilly, but I would be looking at reposting stuff, and it's, you know, I feel like it's something that we should do more of, because every so often someone will comment on an old video on YouTube, and I watch the video and I'm like, ooh, cringe. But you know, it makes me feel nostalgic how we started this journey and where it is now and how many more friends I've got from doing this than I had a year ago. So should you repost old content? Yes. Make sure the content's really, really good. Make sure there's a reason for doing it. And if it works, do it a lot. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But again, don't put it in place of new content. Don't make excuses. Don't just go, we can knock off a third of the content we make. You know, do you know what I hate? When I'm watching like The Simpsons or something, and they've basically just made an episode of rehashed old bits. Yeah. And I'm like, that's fucking lazy. Yeah. So don't make it like that, but to have a real reason for a throwback. And that's why Facebook tells you, this is what you did 2 years ago. Yeah. And do you want to share it? Well, yeah, I want to share it because I want my mates to go, oh, I remember that, you know, or so as long as you're doing it cleverly, then absolutely 100% you should be rehashing, because you spend a lot of time and effort, you guys, making great content. Like, you'll spend a lot of time making a music video and then you'll post it to Facebook and it never gets seen again. Yeah. And I'm like, why? You spent so much time and effort, and just repost it every so often. Just say, we're really proud of this. It's amazing. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. And that is our last question.
Amazing. So hashtag #AskDamo. I want more questions. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. This is the wrong thing to say because I know this is uncool. I've become an uncool. I'm loving Snapchat. He's
loving Snapchat.
So I just find Snapchat more fun. Instagram, I feel like I need to take it more seriously because I get told off. But Snapchat is just a laugh, and I really like it when someone pops up and asks me a question on Snapchat with a little picture or a video. So because I can answer it in 10 seconds. That is an important point. I get messages on Facebook, and I get so many messages on Facebook, and then some of them are like an essay. And as soon as I see it, I'm like, I haven't got time. I haven't got time to read it, process it, and give an answer to. Whereas when someone sends me either a tweet or a Snapchat, they have to get their entire point across in like 10 seconds, which is great, because then I can get it back in 10 seconds. So it really works. So Damian Keys, everything's Damian Keys, or my Instagram's Damian Keys 1, but other than that, it's Damian Keys. Come and find me. Good. So I'm off to Boston next week.
Which is exciting.
Whoa! So I'm off to Boston.
You're just going to be singing Boston for the whole
Yeah, I know. But Wednesday I'm doing, basically, get this, I'm going to vlog the whole thing. So hopefully you'll come and watch this on my YouTube. But I'm flying on Monday. I'm coming back on Friday. And what I'm actually needed for is 15 minutes on Wednesday.
It's a serious commitment.
So it's an 11-hour flight. I'm staying the next day. I'm going to an event. I'm talking for 15 minutes. I'm staying the next day. And I'm flying back the next day for 15 minutes.
It'll be so worth it though.
It will.
It's such a good event.
I'm really, really looking forward to it. So yeah, and if you're in Boston, it's the Social Tools Summit. So come and say hello, because I will literally be friendless for the entire week.
You go explore Boston.
I will. Sing more than a feeling. Right. So thank you very much. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Go and subscribe on the YouTube. That means the most to me. Ask questions. Get in touch. And see you next week or the week after.
Adios.